John, this is year 3 for Matt Eberflus. His 10-24 record is the second worst winning percentage in Bears history. This includes franchise worst streaks, including consecutive losses with 14 and consecutive home losses with 10. The Bears also blew 3 10-plus point leads in the fourth quarter last season, which tied a record for the most in a single season in NFL history. More facts. Of the 7 wins that Matt Eberflus had last season, only 1 came against a team with a winning record. And 4 of those 7 coaches he beat, they were fired. All that, and of course, we have to add that 2 of his staff members were dismissed during the season, and virtually the entire offensive coaching staff was fired after the season. Finally, my question. What is your level of confidence that Matt Eberflus is truly capable of being a winning head coach for the Bears? 55 seconds and go.
Okay, so we're talking about concerns this week, so I guess this works out perfectly. As I've said before, I think Matt Eberflus is a good defensive mind. I think the defense got a lot better when he took over the defensive play calling, but his ability to effectively be a good head coach in the NFL is greatly unknown. They lost some games they should have won last year. His ability to put together a staff is questionable at best, and while I think he's a nice guy and the players generally like him, the expectations have never really been higher for Matt Eberflus. And like I've been saying, the time for excuses is over. You have Caleb Williams. You have a new offensive coordinator. You drafted Roma Odunze. You traded for Keenan Allen. You signed DeAndre Swift. So, Alyssa, you read the stats. His record against winning teams is bad. And even when you're a below-average team, a good coach should be able to scheme up a win or two against better competition, and we just haven't seen much of that. So I don't think I or anyone else owes Eberflus the benefit of the doubt until we see it.
No, that's a really good point too. Like what you brought about in terms of we don't know necessarily like what he's capable of as a head coach. And I can even go back to his first year and the roster that he inherited, right? Same with Ryan Poles. They had to tear it down, build it back up from the bottom. And, he did have his shortcomings last season. And one of the cool things was him getting up in front of the media and owning up to those shortcomings, including like how he addressed the media during press conferences and, like how much information he's giving up. So like, we'll see this season. I think this will be, thinking back to what Kevin Warren was saying about year 3 being like the year where things really need to start clicking. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a huge year for Matt Eberflus. So I think we'll truly get to see what kind of head coach he can do, because what kind of head coach he can be. Can he make the kind of adjustments, right? There are certain things, like halftime adjustments and certain things with challenges and things that he struggled with over the years. So we will see if he can make those adjustments.
There's a big question mark for me when it comes to Matt Eberflus. And, what Hard Knocks has kind of showed me, and I think showed everyone, is we know why he's a player's coach. Players, appreciate him. Players play hard for him. Players like him. But, it's one thing being liked by the players, but also being, going out there, having those guys and putting them in a position to succeed. And a lot of times I just feel like, he hadn't done that and done a great job in being able to go and put those players in a position to succeed and pull out victories. Now, he's got the most talent he's had in his 3 years here in Chicago on this team currently. I'm not sitting out here saying he's got to make the playoffs, but we got to see improvement. We got to see development from the young guys. We got to see Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Tyreek Stevenson. These young guys continue to get better, and then obviously incorporate this year's draft class, and then see that big jump, whether it's 9 victories, 10 victories, or whatever it is, whether that means a playoff, spot or doesn't mean a playoff spot. But we got to see this team developing, these young players developing and taking that next step. And that's where, and then I'd say, all right, Eberflus has this, ship on the right path. And I think his staff is developing these players as they should.